So what is going on, guys? I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome yourselves back to another zombies video on the channel, but today is a special day because it was the reveal for Black Ops 4. Not only that, but unexpectedly Treyarch revealed to us 3 brand new zombies maps we are going to be getting on disc for Black Ops 4. And today I want to break down the tease that we've had for one of the 3, which is Blood of the Dead. Of course, a remaster of Mob of the Dead, but instead, as you guys may have seen from the trailer, we are not going to be playing as the Mob of the Dead characters, but the Primis crew. Of course, if you don't know already, the other 2 zombies maps are called IX, which means 9 in Roman numerals, and the third one is called Voyage of Despair, which is going to be set on the Titanic. So we'll get around to those maps, but I thought, you know what, since we've had hints for a very long time that we are going to be getting a remaster of Mob of the Dead, but I wasn't too sure 100% if it was coming. I was hoping for it, but now it's been revealed. I am so excited. Let's break down this teaser, see what we can find out. I am super excited. As always, if you enjoy, drop a like rating. I don't need to ask you guys. Make sure you are subscribed, and when you're ready, let's get into it. Here we go. So if you want to check out the full trailer for yourself without me talking, you can check it out. I will link it down in the description, although you're not missing any dialogue, it's just music. However, we get straight into this. So the first thing we hear is the theme tune of Mob of the Dead, Where Are We Going? And as we fade in here into black and white, which by the way was the same as the original Mob of the Dead trailer, we start off in black and white and eventually it goes to color, but you can see we have a candle flickering. We have some debris, bullet casings on the ground. Nothing too interesting. But you will notice eventually, as soon as the light goes out, the colour comes in. Now we know that Treyarch are secretive with everything they do. You may think, okay, that means nothing. Well, as I always say with Treyarch, everything means something. And what do you usually do when you blow out a candle? Well, you make a wish. Usually if you blow out a candle and it lets out a puff of white smoke, what that means is your wish will be granted. Whereas if you see dense black smoke coming from, for example, a ritual candle, that's thought to represent negative energy. But here we see a white puff of smoke coming from this blown out candle, whether someone's blown it out or it's being blown out by the wind. But usually when you blow out a candle, it's to make a wish, and if you see white smoke, that's to tell you it will come true. But as we move on through, we can see we eventually pan up and we see the Primis characters are in Alcatraz. They are in Mob of the Dead. And then after this, it just cuts out, tells you the name of the map, and that's it. It's a very short teaser, as expected, but this is our first look at Blood of the Dead. Now, the first thing I wanted to do when I saw this was take a look if the characters still had the blood vials, and if you zoom in on Richthofen, you can see he's got the blood vials on him, which do look to be half full. They are pretty difficult to see, but they are there. And then I've had a look around and I can't seem to see anything else that stands out. We've still got the hanging bodies from the ceiling, the debris everywhere. It basically still looks how the original Mob of the Dead looked. Nothing from this angle, at least, seems to have changed in the prison. But what we can then ask is, well, when exactly is this map going to be set? If we are here as the Primis crew, when does this take place? We know that the original Mob of the Dead was set in the 1930s. When we go to Purgatory as Finn, Al, Sal and Billy, we are there on the date of December 31st, 1933, which is New Year's Eve, hence why you can see fireworks going off in the background. We do know that the Primis crew did in fact travel to Mob of the Dead at the end of the Zetsubo no Shima Easter egg. When we complete that and kill the mutated version of Takeo, our characters teleport quickly to Mob of the Dead to collect the blood vials and then return back to Zetsubo no Shima. So more than likely this map takes place during that time. This could be the time in between Zetsubo no Shima and Gorod where we travel to Mob to collect the blood vials, and that maybe could be the Easter egg, us collecting the blood vials. I don't know. However, we also know that Richthofen travelled here before that, just after Sal, Finn, Billy and Al got trapped in this endless cycle in Purgatory. Richthofen, not too long after, arrived at Alcatraz in Dimension 63, where he contacted members of the Illuminati and told them to help him build a laboratory facility beneath Alcatraz. We know that he also met up with Stanley Ferguson, the Night Guard, basically Brutus in Purgatory. Richthofen met up with him and also asked Stanley to assist him with the Illuminati's construction of the lab under Alcatraz, and so that's exactly what Stanley did. He helped Richthofen and the Illuminati, and they built this secret laboratory under Alcatraz prison. And we know that Richthofen would later go on to use this lab to keep the Victus crew here. The Victus crew, if you can't remember, are the transit crew. We know that after Buried, they went on a journey for Richthofen to collect the Canorium, and after they collected the Canorium, they brought it to the lab to Richthofen, and he then told them to rest in stasis chambers that were under Alcatraz, and he will keep them there until he could find a universe safe for them to live in. So that's when Richthofen went there as himself, but as we can see from this teaser trailer, we are going here as all 4 of the Primis characters, which means that this map takes place after that, and in fact that date happened on July the 4th of 1941. That was the date that the Primis crew arrived in Mob of the Dead to collect the Victus blood samples from the other Richthofen. So my guess is that this map would be taking place on that date, after the laboratory under Alcatraz has been built, after the Mob of the Dead characters have entered Purgatory, and also after the transit characters have entered the stasis chambers as well. So my guess is that not only is this going to be a remastered map, but since the laboratory would have been built by this time, more than likely that means new areas on the map are going to be available. We'll be able to go down to the laboratory that was built by Richthofen. We will probably be able to see the transit characters down there sleeping. The Easter egg might involve us somehow collecting the blood vials, I don't know. But also, Stanley Ferguson didn't leave employment in Alcatraz until around about a year after the Primis crew came here. So it's possible that we might even meet Stanley Ferguson in some way as well. Maybe, once again, as Brutus, I don't know. But that for me is very interesting. But also remember that we had a new loading screen for Mob of the Dead. This was one of the first hints we had that it will be returning. You can see the old page on the left, but then on the right we have it ripped off, and underneath we see a new loading screen. We know the old one kind of told us what we need to do, so it's possible that the new one on the right also tells us what we need to do. We can see we have the blood vials, we have a prison weapon, we've got something up the top right there, I'm not sure what that is, and also 2 characters. One of them looks like the older Richthofen, and the other one looks like maybe the younger one, but still both the Primis versions. I don't really know, that one's quite confusing. We then also have what looks like a character entering from a rift down the bottom, and also the stasis chambers as well. We have what I believe is the washing machine that we put one of the clothes in to build the plane. And then the text, although it's quite difficult to read, I believe says, "I have a secret, I must follow the path." That either says path or place, I'm not too sure. And then also we can see the afterlife symbol, and it says, "This symbol, I can't seem to get it out of my head." So it looks like we're going back here as the Primis characters. It's also going to be interesting to see if we can enter Purgatory when we are there, because, well, we're not dead. Whereas in the original Mob of the Dead, the only reason they could enter Purgatory is because they were dead. So how's that going to work? That's interesting. So then that also means, and I assume we're going to be having an Easter egg for this map. It's a big map. It's not just, you know, a bonus thing. It's an actual big remade Mob of the Dead called Blood of the Dead. So like I said, I assume we're going to be having an Easter egg, and if that's the case, then the Easter egg surely won't be the same as the original one, because the original one was all about those characters specifically. It was about those characters. We learned their story of how they died. They basically killed one another, and the other 3 characters got sent to death by electric chair, and because of that, because of their sins, they got sent back to Purgatory to attempt to break out of that endless cycle that they were stuck in. And this involved building the plane, escaping off the island, crashing into the Golden Gate Bridge, and then redoing that over and over again until we eventually killed one another. Either you could break the cycle by Al killing the other characters, or you could continue the cycle by the other characters killing Al. We had 2 alternate endings. But because that Easter egg was personal to those characters, and those characters aren't returning to Blood of the Dead, we are with the Primis crew, then surely the Easter egg's gonna be totally different. Surely there'll be no need to build a plane this time. It also wouldn't make sense for us to have Purgatory available, since, like I said, we aren't dead, we are alive. But we also know that in Mob of the Dead, it has a massive thing to do with Purgatory. There are all secrets that you need to discover in Purgatory, so I'm guessing a load of secrets in this map are going to change, a load of Easter eggs that we are going to be able to find are going to be changed and brand new, and also the main Easter egg is going to be new as well and totally different. So I'm super interested to see how that's going to work, and I'm also wondering, are we going to in some way maybe see the Mob of the Dead characters? Maybe we can see them as ghosts in Purgatory, wondering about the prison, still stuck in this endless cycle. Anyway guys, there we go. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. This one was really awesome. I am so excited for Black Ops 4. Let me know in the comment section below which out of the 3 maps that we've seen so far are you most excited for. Is it the remake of Mob of the Dead? Is it the Titanic one or the Gladiator one? Let me know in the comments section below. As I said, if you have enjoyed today's video, if you could shoot for 2k likes on this video, I think we could definitely do that for an awesome map. That'd be appreciated. Make sure you are subscribed, and of course, I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye.